Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Welcome back to this 27th day of June. It's a Tuesday in the heart of the Riverbend. SummersPort. Believe it or not, guys, I was a swimmer for 2 summers. And let's just say I might have been the only person ever to be thrown out of a swim meet for arguing. But that's okay. Neither the point. Maddie and Claire are in studio. We're talking all about the SummersPort Sharks. Man, you guys are always kicking butt when it comes to the swim meets. How's everything going for you this morning?
It's been a fun season, pretty quick. I think we're on our 4th week now, so 4 of 8. So we're closing in on kind of our championship season. We got 2 weeks off and then a couple more meets and we're done. So
man, that's what you know. What I think's so funny about the swim season is right whenever it starts, it's the most brutal thing ever to get in that pool right away outside.
Yeah.
Is the water starting to finally warm up a bit?
Yes. Yeah. Finally, last week was probably the first week we didn't get any complaints about being cold. So
There you go. Well, how's the season been so far? A lot of good results.
yeah, I'm happy with how we've done. You know, we did really well in the relay meet. We've had a couple close meets. Our first meet against Montclair and then ended up winning against Sunset. So we'll see what we can do on Tuesday against Paddlers. Tuesday, I think the 12th. And then SWISA on the 16th. So
Nice. You can't beat that. Well, and too, I mean, it's really cool to catch up because, I mean, SummersPort's always been almost like a powerhouse in summer swimming. And take us through how you guys got the nod to join the coaching staff and help some young swimmers out.
Claire, you want to go first?
Yeah, I've been on the team since I was like 7 years old. And this is my senior year. And Maddie asked me this year if I would like to help them coach. And so I said yes. So this is my first year coaching with the team, and it's going great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I grew up swimming at SummersPort. My mom was the manager for, 4 years or so when I was a kid. But I started diving, actually, when I was probably 7 years old. Joined the swim team the next year, and I swam all the way until I was 18. I ended up going to University of Arkansas and swimming on a swim scholarship there. Ended up moving back home, got a job in St. Louis. I'm an engineer, and we actually design swimming pools, which is kind of cool.
Right on.
But due to COVID, we all kind of were working from home, so I had a little bit more flexibility with, my schedule, and the SummersPort job came up, and it was a time where I had some extra time to be able to devote to the community. That's kind of one of my core values is community. So to give back to these kids, because, I started swimming at 8 and it changed my life completely. So that's always what I've been trying to do is kids to make lifelong friends. And, it's not all just about, getting faster, that's what we're trying to do. But all those lifelong friends, those memories that I've had at SummersPort is what, drew me to come back and start coaching. So, well,
without a doubt. And on top of that, I mean, even the 3 years that I was on the swim team, and trust me, I should have stuck to soccer. But the bottom line is this. I'm sitting there and all those things that I learned in the pool and all that stuff, I mean, really invaluable life lessons because, I mean, it's not just swim lessons. I mean, I could actually swim in the ocean and I felt so confident enough that, I mean, now I can go anywhere and not, probably not the Mississippi River, though. I don't know why people ever swim in that. Have you ever seen somebody out there floating?
No.
Yeah. When they do, they call the Coast Guard for a reason. But with that being said, when did you take over was Nancy still there when you took over?
No, I took over. So the SummersPort was closed the year of 2020 because of COVID. And so then on 2021 was the first year. So I've 2021, 2022, 20. So this is my 3rd season. So.
Wow. And how's the growth been over the 3 years? Has it been pretty good for you?
Yeah, it's been good. That year of COVID, I think some of our older kids kind of got the feel of not being in the pool for a year, and so those guys didn't return. But we've had a really strong showing of kids, 8 and unders that are now been there 3 years with us, and I'm hoping that continues. I tell all those kids that I'd love to see them swim up until like Claire. I always say that right before our meet, and we thank our seniors for their time and service to the team, and I remind those kids that they can be that in 10 years, 9 years, 7 years, whatever. I hope they swim all through high school. So
without a doubt. So I just gotta kind of throw this out here. I've only won one heat in my life, okay? So whenever it's something like that, when I won like one heat and I realized, oh wait, I actually didn't win. I just won one little heat. What is it like for, you guys to kind of watch their careers kind of develop and get to know how these meets go and get to see what stroke works better for them and their bodies and, all that good stuff? What's like the age level where you really start to see them, peak with this stuff?
I'd say the 9-10s.
Yeah,
Really?
definitely.
Yeah.
That 10-year-old age. 8 and under, we swim only 25, so that's one lap. So that 9-year-old age group is a little bit hard adjustment because we have to start doing 50s of butterfly.
Choked on that my first race. I did a 50-yard butterfly my first race. Choked on a gallon of water and got disqualified. True story. Put that on a flag.
Yeah.
What's your guys' stroke of choice?
Mine's freestyle.
Yeah, I swam sprint freestyle, so.
Wow.
And I like distance freestyle. So.
But now, what's distance for the folks at home? How many meters is that?
My favorite race is the 500.
How many laps is that?
20.
Wow! Now, how do you prepare your guys' bodies for that? Because I was never a real swimmer. Don't let me fool you here. I was just somebody that was there for recreational purposes. Being a real swimmer, how do you condition your bodies for that?
You just build the yardage. We start out and we're probably doing 2,000 yards. I think we hit about 3,000 a day for our older kids. So you just building yardage.
Wow.
We tell all the kids every day, it's hard work. Swimming is a ton of work. I swam when I was swimming in college. Probably it was a full-time job. I'm doing doubles practices every day, weight room. It just takes a lot of work. It's not an easy task.
I'll pass.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like you're not only for if you're never going to be a swimmer ever again, but I mean it's a lifelong skill that you're going to have, and even they can take to their other sports. That hard work that we're instilling in them.
I'm telling you what, I used to run 2 miles every day for soccer, getting ready for the season. I got more fit swimming than I did ever running. And I mean that, it wasn't even close. It was just like, wow, I could run for 20 miles and then 2 days later, it's like I weigh 400 pounds and can't move.
Yeah.
But with that being said, whenever you see a young swimmer come in or you guys are getting the younger groups ready to go, how do you start them off?
I mean, just one lap at a time.
I like that. Yeah,
truly,
there's a shirt.
truly. I mean, some of our younger kids are. We have a couple 5-year-olds that could barely swim the lap, and we're swimming in 50s already this season. It's really kind of incredible how quickly those guys can adapt, and we're dropping 10 seconds at a time in a 25 free. So. They're strong little swimmers at 5 and 6. So I mean, it literally is just building blocks throughout the season of, just increasing the yardage slightly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and now take us through your guys' dynamic. So how do you guys run practices? Are you both in the pool? Is one in, one out? How does that?
Some days are better than others, depending on how many kids are there. For the older kids, Claire still swims on the team.
Okay.
We have a third assistant coach, Anna, who's actually lifeguarding right now, and she's a swimmer at Penn. So I mean, it's just divide and conquer. So for our older kids, I can usually keep them together and by myself. But for our younger kids, we kind of just take a lane where we ride a practice on a board. We can scale a practice to whatever we need. So if there's kids that can swim 125s like this morning, and some of those other kids are going to swim hundreds just because, they're younger, a little bit slower. We just kind of divide and conquer. I write the practices, and then everybody kind of just takes a lane and
I like it.
Herds the chaos.
I was always in lane 5 or 6. I never got to move into the fast lane, I don't know if you guys still do that, but back in the day.
It's still, the middle lanes are usually at meets the fastest.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
We have 3 lanes in the mornings when we don't have, when dive's going on, we only have 3 lanes. So sometimes it's a little packed, but we get it done.
That's just really cool. And what I think is really unique, too, is, SummersPort is really, talk about some community history.
Yeah.
That has a following and a foundation, and I'm sure that you have swimmers on your team where their parents swam for the Sharks, and all that good stuff. What's that mean to you guys, though, to really, you're taking over, it's not just a swim team. This has some community backing and support behind it, too.
Yeah, for sure. We have multiple kids that are now second-generation Sharks. it's really fun. A lot of the parents were lifeguards when I was a kid, so
cool.
that's really fun. To be able to see those guys now have kids and bringing their kids back to SummersPort. I know, it's really fulfilling to see that second generation still using the pool. Again, still building those lifelong friends that they're going to have forever. It's really funny to me. Like, I got multiple lifeguards, timing their 8-year-old that they were used to be lifeguards up at the pool, and that's really fun to see.
That really is, and that's what I think is so great about this. I mean, to me, SummersPort's the best place to take your child, or have that. I mean, there's so much to learn there, whether it's friends or swimming or all those good, other components of it. It's really great, and it's really great to know that the parents that maybe haven't signed your kid up for swim lessons for the swim team yet, maybe they kind of eyeballed it but didn't know. I mean, it's always great to meet the coaches. And what's your thought if someone was kind of hesitant, they didn't know if little Johnny was going to be able to swim too well? What's your thoughts? What's your message to them ahead of next year?
Well, I mean, Claire, you can touch on swim lessons. I think swim lessons are super important before swim team. Claire will teach us swim lessons.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so that's really important to be able to build their foundation, to be able to swim a whole lap. I would tell any parent that it is an absolute life skill. I think far too many kids probably end up drowning. I think it's probably one of the top.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's one of the top reasons is kids drowning, and it's a skill that they'll have for the rest of their life. It's a skill that they'll teach their kids someday. So if any parent is ever on the fence about getting their kid in swim lessons, it's just needed.
Yeah. Well, and too, for the swim team, let's say they took swim lessons, and all that, but they love swimming, but they don't know if they're going to be any good in a race. Yeah. Is it okay to bring someone out for a tryout, or see if we can keep?
Try it.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, I always tell the kids, because I think a lot of times we get into like a comparison game between kids to kids, and I always remind them. I mean, I think that's the cool part about swimming is I played team sports. I wasn't a great team sport athlete. I wanted to be in charge of my own destiny. I could work as hard as I wanted to work, and I was going to see whatever results that was based on my own personal sacrifice and whatever I put into that sport. And so I always tell those kids, like, it doesn't matter if, the next person in that other lane beat you, but like, you could drop 5 seconds in your time, and it's all about racing yourself. So I'd always tell parents it's really not about, a comparison to who of, we're going to get beat by another team. We're always just striving for your personal best.
Right on. I mean, that's really a great way to look at it too. And on top of that, a couple more questions before I ask you about the rest of the season and things. I got to ask you guys, because when I was swimming, all I thought about was, I was thinking about oh man, what am I going to have for dinner? And then you choke on water, and then all of a sudden you're getting disqualified for touching the bottom of the pool. And you're like, why are you disqualifying me? I was choking on water. Anyway, that's a whole nother argument and why I got ejected. But I got to ask you, whenever you're focused, how do you guys, what's your mental thought? I mean, when you're hitting those long races and you're on there for 20 laps, what's the thought process of how do you keep focused and just on task,
Focusing on your stroke and your pace, and just making sure that you're, keeping track of,
how many laps you've done?
That's a great answer. I was going to ask you that. Have you ever swam more than you're supposed to?
Well, for distance races, for 500 and up, you have a lap counter, so they put in the number and show you so you don't get lost.
Oh.
You want to tell the story?
For 200s, you don't. So during summer swim, there's only 200 and below. So 200 is the longest distance in summer. And
I want to hear the story. I can feel a story on the horizon.
What was it?
Our first meet.
Was it the first meet?
Yeah,
it was the first meet. I got in and I was doing the 200 and
got a little lost.
Yeah, I swam 150 and thought that I swam 200, and so I stopped. And then I look up and Maddie's like, "Keep going, keep going!" And all the little kids were like, "Go, Coach Claire, go!"
So it even happens to Claire, who's been swimming since she was 7. So
people always freak out about "Oh, I'm gonna mess up." It's it happens.
Whenever you do something a lot and all the time, mistakes happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you a question now too, because now my swimmer's coming back to me. Who can swim streamline the longest underneath the water? That's what I've
Not me.
really see. I've always.
Anna? Yeah, Coach Anna probably could.
I just find that fascinating too. That is an art form in itself, is figuring out the dive. And now when you're on the block, how do you get focused too? Because you guys are real swimmers. I mean, is it just like stepping in the batter's box where you're like, okay, I got to make sure my stroke's looking good? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you're competitive, you're just it's kind of innate in
Game
you.
mode, huh?
Yeah. I mean, when you're training as much as most swimmers are training, you're focused on doing your best during that race. So it's not hard to focus in. Now, for some of our little kids, they're probably more worried about their friend in the bullpen.
Do they still draw markers on each other?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
Eat My Bubbles. Yeah, we got all that still
So
going
what's
on.
funny is I always have Eat My Bubbles, but I was always the kid in last place. So it's Eat My Own, With that being said, season's been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
How's it looking to wrap up?
Yeah, so we have one more meet against Paddlers. The Paddlers is in Granite City. That's at home on Tuesday night. I think it's the 12th, if I can remember correctly. So we have one home meet left, and that should be a pretty good meet and pretty close. I think we ended up beating Paddlers at the relay meet, so hopefully that's a pretty close meet. We have all of our kids swimming at home one more time, and then we really quickly then we go back to Paddlers on the next Saturday at SWISA, which is our conference championship. So that SWISA is the 16th. So we'll be kind of getting ready for that for the next couple weeks. I told everybody this morning, we got to really, put the hammer down here for the next couple weeks. We don't have any meets, so there's no distractions at night. We're going to really work hard the next couple weeks, then we'll taper off a little bit for SWISA. Which is the conference. Then we got SWISA JV on Monday for those that aren't going to swim at SWISA, and the season's over with the 17th, which, June 1st to July 17th is a pretty fast time for all of us. So.
That is fast. I mean, that's a lot to manage within a month and 17 days. So what's the way for folks to stay up to date? Maybe they haven't signed up for SummersPort yet for the next year. Maybe they have, and they're kind of on the fence, the swim team. What's the best way to stay up to date with the Sharks?
Well, you can follow us on Facebook, SummersPort Swim Club. That's usually we'll post updates there for swim, or our website, I think it's SummersPort.net, which has all the information on swim team, membership, dive team, if that's something you're interested in, swim lessons, etc. So you can check us out both on Facebook or on our website.
So, funny story. I was watching Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. But this guy's like the world's best diver, but he's 80 years old or 60. And I saw this movie, and I'm like seeing this guy flip up in the air, and he's like this old fat guy. I thought, I could do this. I want to do dive team. 5 minutes, I was done. I was back to swim team with Nancy,
Yeah.
Well, guys, seriously, I think it's great. And I really think what you're doing is fantastic, especially with both of you being busy and having lives outside of swimming of your own. And it's really cool you're giving back time to the community, and best of luck at SWISA.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We'll take a quick break. Our daily show will roll right around the corner right here on this Tuesday in downtown Alton after this.